Just this morning, we had the pleasure of sitting down with the food and beverage director for the Equinox cruise ship. Hello, everybody. Joyce here with the Traveling Gamblers, and I am here with John. Hello, John.
Hello, Joyce.
And John and I are on the Celebrity Equinox. We are on a 6-night Caribbean cruise, and we had a live the other day on Embarkation Day, and we had a lot of questions. The live was primarily to try and gather some questions that you guys had to see if we could do some investigating, if you will, and get the facts about the issues that you are inquiring and provide you with some real answers. So we've been chatting with people, heads of departments and such, during our cruise this week. And just this morning, we had the pleasure of sitting down with the food and beverage director for the Equinox cruise ship. Her name is G, and that's what she is called. She goes by G. Her first name, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, and I think that's why she's called G. Lovely woman. We've known G now for several months since we started cruising a lot on the Equinox this summer, and she's always very lovely to sit and chat with us, and she agreed to sit down and let us ask her all of the questions that we had pertaining to all that's going on, especially out there in social media. So let's get right to it.
Okay, and the first question was about the cookie, the premier cookie, and why did this happen, and why was it a test on the Equinox?
And exactly that, what was it? The answer that she gave us was surprising, not one that either one of us expected. It was a test. It was just a test, and it was just on the Equinox. And it was a specialty cookie served at the gelato station, which is at the other end of Cafe El Baccio on deck 5. And it was $2 plus a 20% gratuity. It was a fresh made, I think on the waffle iron, because she said the bottom of the cookie is waffled. It's a large chocolate chip fresh baked cookie. There was going to be just a limited number of them, 20 in the early part of the day and then 20 in the evening. And once they were sold out for the day, they were sold out for the day, and they weren't going to have any more of them. They had different toppings that you could choose from. There was a couple of the toppings she mentioned was caramel sauce drizzled. There was a little sea salt that you could have on them if you wanted. And as the F&B director, she was giving them out to guests as a trial. Yes, they were available for purchase, but she was also giving them away to guests, to Zenith, Elite Plus guests, to try to get feedback from them. This was never intended to replace the complimentary cookies or the cookies that are included in your cruise fare that are available at Cafe El Baccio or the Ocean View Cafe. Wasn't meant to be at all. One of the pieces of information is something that John and I had not heard until today, and that is that, yes, they did remove the cookies from Cafe El Baccio for a couple days, but it had absolutely nothing to do with this hot premium cookie that was being introduced. Her words, it was poor timing. And the reason that they took away the complimentary cookies from Cafe El Baccio, they were still at the buffet. They were thinking about making a shift of the cookies because the line at Cafe El Baccio is always very long And a lot of the people that are in line are there just for the complimentary cookies and pastries, not to order coffee. And so the people that are in line to order coffee are standing in this long line, and there wasn't enough crew to be able to manage the number of people in line getting just the complimentary pastries and cookies. So they thought perhaps they would move the cookies to a new spot. So the immediate thing that they did was remove the cookies from Cafe El Baccio and had them just in Ocean View Cafe. All hell broke loose because the premium cookie was released coinciding almost the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so people jumped to conclusions. One thing had absolutely nothing to do with the other. The cookies are back at Cafe El Baccio. They have been since day one. They are not at Cafe El Baccio in the morning, as the morning is always morning pastries. It's croissants and muffins and things of that nature, Danishes. And then around noon, they replace those with cupcakes and tarts and cakes and things of that nature. And that's when the cookies are then put out, and that's out for the rest of the day and the evening. G said that they're still looking at trying to figure out a way to still offer the complimentary cookies and pastries for people that don't want coffee. Cafe El Baccio's treats, if you will, were intended always to go with coffee for somebody that wanted to come and get something to go, or more wanted to sit down at the Cafe El Baccio and have a little something with their coffee. It was a complimentary thing to go with the coffee. And in true celebrity form, the crew would never say, this is for somebody that's sitting at Cafe El Baccio having coffee, or somebody that's ordering coffee, something to go with it. Of course, they're going to give you just the pastries and or cookies, even if you're not ordering coffee. The problem is there's not enough space or crew to handle the demand for the cookies and treats at Cafe El Baccio. She's thinking maybe they might incorporate the gelato station in some way. Perhaps put the complimentary cookies over there instead to help cut down the line, because the gelato station is...
It's quiet.
It's quiet,
Yes.
A good portion of the time.
Right.
So the bottom line is the cookie, because of all of the ruckus that was on social media, they took away the premium cookie. None of us are going to have the chance to try it. And the ironic thing is that the majority of the people that were, the very large majority of the people that were on social media making accusations and complaints and outrage hadn't even been on the Equinox to experience this firsthand.
She also mentioned why the Equinox is used as a test
Yes.
cruise ship.
So I asked her, that was one of the other questions that you guys asked, is why is Equinox seem to be in the mix with the trials and tests of different things? And she said that it's because it's in the United States. It's a ship that's in the United States year round, and it makes it easier to do these tests to get
supplies, and corporate's right around the corner, she said.
She said, yes, she did say that because corporate, she said because the office is only an hour away, things are a lot easier obtained here. And since the Equinox is moving, the Equinox will not be involved in as many of these trials or tests in the future. But she also did mention that every ship has some type of trial or test going on almost always. We just maybe aren't aware of it. So that's the story with the cookie.
Right.
It was completely blown out of proportion on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And for what it was, $2.40 for a premium item like that, added to the premium gelato in that location, made perfect sense. People buy gelato every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You get a complimentary scoop if you are Elite, Elite Plus, or Zenith. But I was sitting yesterday at Cafe El Baccio, and there was a woman who was having her gelato, and I asked her what flavor she was having, and she told me, and she said, I have 2 scoops every day. It's my treat for myself.
Mm-hmm.
2 scoops of gelato is like $5.
Right.
I don't see how it would be any different to spend $2.40.
And someone was complaining about the gratuity on that, but how's that different than getting a drink that someone just pours and pays the gratuity?
Right.
So, it's the way it's been.
Yes, it is. It's the industry of cruising. This is not anything that's different. This is no different than the specialty restaurants that they have, or the drink packages, or the Wi-Fi. These are all premium items that you can purchase as an add-on for your cruise. You don't have to do it, but we're not going to have an opportunity to try out that premium cookie. She said it's too bad because it was really delicious and everybody that had it really loved it. So,
and we put a positive twist on things because we love celebrity. They don't even know we exist.
Right.
And it's a cruise line we love. And
I hope you all know that John and I are honest and truthful. We don't sugarcoat things. This is how we really feel. It has, as he said, Celebrity Cruise Lines doesn't know that we exist as a YouTube channel. Not at all. And we bring this information for you, not for anybody else. And this is our opinion of, we gain the facts, we report the facts to you, we want you to know all the information, and then we add a little bit of our own opinion in there.
Right.
And I'm disappointed that the premium cookie went away so fast. I wanted to try it.
Right.
I wanted to at least experience it.
It would have been nice with gelato on it.
Yes.
A hot cookie.
But would have been.
Anyway.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It lets us know what you like, and it really helps out the channel a lot, and we appreciate it. And while you're at it, if you haven't done so already, we would love to have you join us and hit subscribe. If you watch our videos and you enjoy our channel anyway, just hit subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. That'll let you know of any new videos that we post. It is a free and easy way for you to help support us, and we do appreciate it.
Next question was about the menu changes in Blue and the main dining room.
So the actual question was, why have there been so many cuts off of the Blue menu and the main dining room menu? It's not something that John and I were aware of at all. There were several of you that mentioned Blue, and there were several of you that mentioned the main dining room. Because typically we're in an Aqua Class cabin or a suite, we don't eat in the main dining room very often, although we did last cruise and we found it to be absolutely delightful. Yes. So I'm not sure what the ruckus about, the food going downhill, maybe because we don't have anything really to compare it to, but we thought it was absolutely lovely. Mm-hmm. The food options were great, and the food was delicious. The service was exceptional. So G's answer to that was, Blue has never changed. The Blue menu has not changed. It has not been reduced. There are no changes to it, period. And for anybody that thinks that there have been, she's not aware, and she's the director of food and beverage. As for the main dining room, that was a completely different answer. Yes, there have been a lot of changes to the main dining room menu. They're always evolving. There have been items cut off of the menu. Her answer overall was there is a completely new menu coming in 2024, fleet-wide for all the ships in Celebrity Cruise Lines. And they are doing little tests. They're making changes here and there, and they're seeing what works and what doesn't work. Last night was formal night on the ship, and John and I did not go to one of the dining rooms for formal night. Or chic night, they call it. We opted not to because we went to lunch in Cozumel yesterday with our friends Kevin and Sharon. Thank you so much for that, guys. And we were talking to a friend of ours, and she said that she was disappointed in the menu because there didn't seem to be anything special on there for their so-called formal night or special night. And their waiter came over and told them that there was a special item for dinner that night, last night, and it was beef Wellington. That was the special item for the chic night. We asked G specifically about the lobster night for chic night or formal night, and fleet-wide, there is no lobster offered for chic night on sailings that are less than 7 nights. So if it's 7 or more, it's business as usual, and they still have lobster night. In the main dining room, that includes 1 lobster tail, a second lobster tail at the fee of $16.99. In Lumine and in Blue, there is no fee for an additional lobster tail if you would like one. They also have the premium items added to the menu. This is also a sort of test to see how well it's received. I understand it's going well. People like the option because they can have a specialty dinner without going to one of the specialty restaurants. It is less expensive than going to one of the specialty restaurants. And she said the lobster tail is larger than about an ounce larger than what was offered for the chic nights. And it is about an ounce less than what is offered in the specialty restaurants like Murano, where they have the lobster thermidor. The filet mignon, she said, is the same. It's the same fleet-wide in all of the restaurants. So if you order the filet mignon in the main dining room, it's the same filet mignon that you would be getting in any of the other specialty restaurants. So it sounds like we have some exciting changes coming. I know that there are growing pains, and John and I also know, we recognize that where there are changes, there are complaints. So we understand that, and there are a lot of people out there that we think have a tendency to blow things out of proportion. We like to keep things real and realistic, and we know that there are questions. We just wish that they would come across more as questions and less as blown up scenarios where people blow things out of proportion. It doesn't do anybody any good. So if you have any questions, please ask us. We are happy to find out. So we told G, we'll see you in 8 days because we'll be back on the next 6-night Equinox cruise. And she said, with more questions, I'm sure. So keep the questions coming. She is happy to sit down with us and answer. And on that note, let me just follow up on the menu thing. There were a couple questions about the menu not showing up on the app. And this was not something that she was aware of. I brought it to her attention. Some people said that there was, if it was an 8-night cruise or more, or 7-night, more than 7 nights, so I guess 8 nights or more, that the menu wasn't showing up online, and this was not something she was aware of. Obviously, it's not her department. That is the IT department. But we did make her aware of it, and so she was going to look into it to see
Right.
if there was, anything that was across the border, what she could find out about that.
It's a huge department
Yeah.
that she takes care of.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It's all food and beverage
Right.
for the entire ship,
Right.
for everything, room service, all of it.
And if you ever have a question about something, just put it on your survey, and that way they can address it.
The survey is an excellent way to communicate with any cruise line, any company, really.
Mm-hmm.
If they see the same question or statement multiple times, they're going to look into it.
Right.
And that is really the reason for that survey. They want the truth. They don't want it sugar-coated.
Next question was about the nightly chocolates that were left on your bed, and if they still exist, if they're still there.
If they still exist. They still exist.
Yes.
The nightly chocolates, yes, there has been a change. Your cabin steward is instructed on day 1 to ask the guest if they would like the chocolates. If they don't ask the guest, or the guest doesn't have a preference, they are automatically left on the first night, chic night, and the last night. If the guest says no, they don't want the chocolates, they won't be left at all. And if the guest states that they would like the chocolates, they will be left every night. It's about trying to reduce waste. She said it's not a financial thing. It's about trying to improve, and she said it's just across the board. They're always trying to improve. And why would they want to waste?
Exactly.
And that brings us to the next question.
Right. People asked about the canapes, and where are they for Aqua and Concierge?
Yes. So the thing that I saw on social media a lot was that they've stopped serving the canapes as well. And that is not the case either. The canapes are still there as an option. They found the routine for the canapes was to be delivered to every stateroom in Aqua and Concierge at 3:00 in the afternoon every day. They were starting to see a pattern of a lot of waste where the guest wasn't even touching them. And it was, she said, a significant amount. Way more than half weren't even being touched. So now, just like the chocolates, the guests are to be asked on day 1 by their steward when they meet them if they would like the canapes daily.
Mm-hmm.
And if they would, at what time they would like them delivered. And they're going to deliver them in a window of time where the guest would actually desire them to be delivered, rather than just across the board, everybody at 3:00. She said the amount of waste was tremendous. And I honestly don't know anybody that is okay with that much food waste. And I think it's awesome that they are taking a look at that and saying, this is just waste. They did this with the nightly buffet. In my opinion, they pulled back way too much with the nightly buffet. I understand pulling back, and this is a place where I spoke my opinion about celebrity and that I didn't think they did the right thing. And they heard the feedback and they put the nightly buffet back. I don't think it's not back to the degree that it was. It's about 80% of what it was, which in my opinion is the correct amount.
Mm-hmm.
It was overboard before. It was too much. And I think that their adjustment of it is accurate and a good choice.
So the next subject is about the butler service in the Sky Suites, and to describe what's going on with that.
So there were, again, stories all over social media that they were doing away with the butlers. And that is not the case at all. The change applies to the Sky Suite cabins only. So that's the Sky Suites, the Aqua Sky Suites, and the Sunset Sky Suites. Anything that is a Sky Suite as a base, these are the cabins that are being affected by this. Those cabin categories no longer have a dedicated butler. Instead, they now have a butler or retreat team. Basically, the only thing that's changed is instead of you having a dedicated butler that covers, 10 cabins, and that's all that person does is the butler for 10 cabins, they now take the cabin steward. So you used to have a cabin steward and a butler. The cabin steward and the butler is now one person. They are referred to as retreat hosts, and they are part of a team. Your cabin steward will approach you on day one, introduce themselves. Again, they're now called retreat hosts, and they will manage everything that has to do with your cabin. Anything beyond that would be the concierge team or the head butler. There is now one head butler that oversees all of the retreat hosts. I asked her how many Sky Suites were on the Equinox, and I think she said 42 or
I believe
42, I think she
42.
said. So it's 42 cabins that we're talking about. They took away the individual butlers. So if a butler covered 10 cabins, we'll say 4 butlers. And instead of having 4 butlers now, they have the cabin stewards were kind of promoted, if you will, and they are now referred to as retreat hosts. And they have one butler on this ship. His name is John, and he oversees the retreat hosts. There's also the concierge team, which has always been there, and they are available in the retreat lounge, and they can do anything for you. So nothing has really changed for the guest. They have a retreat host, which is their butler and cabin steward in one. They're one phone call away. They have a head butler, who is one phone call away. They have the retreat team, which consists of 3 individuals, one phone call away. And then additionally, she said there is the manager of the retreat who oversees all of the suites, and that person is available for you as well. In our cabin, we had a card with the phone number for our retreat host, who is also our cabin steward, the head butler, and 3 individuals at the concierge team at the retreat lounge. Nothing has changed. As a matter of fact, John and I ordered room service for breakfast twice and room service for lunch once. We had Sharon and Kevin join us, and we ordered Lumine burgers for lunch one day. And I have to say that my experience with the room service delivery has been the best so far on any celebrity cruise that I have been on. They have trained members of the housekeeping department to deliver the food, and it has been absolutely lovely. They bring the tray in, they set the tray down, they take every item off of the tray and set up the table for you. They go over your entire order with you, ask if there's anything else. They call about 15 minutes later and ask how everything was. Was there anything more that you need or want? And the food is hot. All the food is hot. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but for room service, typically on a cruise, the food usually arrives warm at best. It's been phenomenal. It's really been exceptional. I like it. I like it a lot. And there's not one thing that we missed. As far as the actual crew members, they have just been shifted to different departments. Some were promoted to head butler. Some were promoted to the concierge team. Some were moved to different departments that they worked in before. And nobody was let go or no jobs were lost. So I think it's a good thing.
It was, yeah.
I think it's a good thing.
And along those lines, what can we talk about with the drinks, the premium drink package with the Sky Suites in particular?
Yes. So there's another change with the drinks in the cabin. About a month ago or so, John and I informed you of a change regarding the refrigerator and the minibar and the delivery of premium drinks to your cabin. This just pertains to the Sky Suites, as I mentioned earlier, just like with the butlers. So it does not affect the Celebrity Suites or any of the other premium suites. It's just for the Sky Suites. The Sky Suites, the Aqua Sky Suites, and the Sunset Sky Suites. So as we mentioned before, the refrigerator is now considered a mini bar, and it is 100% mini bar. If you touch anything in there, you will be charged for it. In the past, they would come and they would empty the refrigerator for you if you requested, and they would refill it for you with the items that you wanted that were available on the premium drink package. Beer, everything but wine and hard liquor. Beer, waters, juices, vitamin waters, anything of that nature. And then they would refill it for you as the cruise went on. That stopped about a month ago. And when that stopped, you had the option of requesting certain premium drink items from your butler on a case-by-case individual request basis. But you could also go to any bar or the retreat lounge and get whatever premium drinks you wanted. But your butler would still bring them for you per request. That has gone away. There are no more deliveries of premium drinks to the Sky Suites at all. You're still welcome to go get whatever you want and bring it to your cabin. You can go to the retreat lounge. You could bring your little tote down there with you and that they give you in the cabin, and you can fill it up and bring it up to your cabin. You can get things from the bar, just like you would if you had the premium drink package and you were in a different type of cabin. It's the same thing. You can bring as many items back to your cabin as you would like. You can request the refrigerator to be emptied so that you can fill it up with the items that you want. But basically, the only way a premium drink is coming into your cabin is as if you bring it yourself. There's no more. The only exception to that is on day one, there are 2 large bottles of Evian, which is the premium water, as your welcome drink. And if you are in an Aqua Sky Suite, they will replenish that daily, just like they replenish the classic water for the regular Aqua Class cabins. They will replenish the premium water for the Aqua Sky Suites on a daily basis. We just found out this morning from G that they are actually rethinking the water aspect of it, and they are thinking about continuing to deliver the water daily for all suites. And that is something that our cabin steward or our retreat host has been doing for us. He's been giving us 2 full bottles of the Evian water every day. So I think that they're hearing a little bit of pushback, even though that's only been in place for like a week, and they're rethinking it. So just keep this in mind, everybody. This is a constantly moving, fluid situation. As with everything, I think that our awareness is heightened by the changes. But the cruise industry was closed down for a year and a half. and they are really just back in full swing. We have to expect some changes.
Right.
They have a new president. She's definitely making some waves. And I don't think it's a coincidence that all of these changes are occurring since Lisa stepped down and the new president took over. And again, with changes come complaints. We get that. Not everybody likes changes and not everybody adjusts to them. But they're not all bad. And we still love Celebrity Cruise Lines. In our opinion, it is still the best cruise line out there for us.
Mm-hmm.
The services, the quality, the crew,
Yes.
it is just, it's wonderful, and we absolutely enjoy every celebrity cruise we take, and we enjoy every day of every cruise we take.
Yes. So the next question was something we had to address with Future Cruise.
So are we finished with all of the questions pertaining to...
Because we did the room service already.
Yeah.
And that's, unless you see something else in there.
Yeah, let me just check my notes
Okay.
of the questions that I asked G and see if there's anything else. Oh, the room service. So for calling room service, if you are in a suite, a sky suite without a butler, and you don't want to call room service because you are on hold, sometimes for a while, there is another option. You can call your retreat host or you can call the head butler, and you can place your order with them, and they will then hand it off. As soon as a room service request comes in, it goes to John, the head butler on the Equinox. It goes to the head butler, and he makes sure that everything in the order is correct and it's delivered to the Sky Suite properly. The reason that is because that's the only suite type that doesn't have the dedicated butler who used to do that. So now the head butler for the entire team, he will do that and possibly hand that off to maybe somebody else on his team if he's busy, if there's a lot of orders or something. But nothing is changing, and you don't have to call room service and stay on hold. You can call the head butler or your retreat host directly and place your room service order with them. So that does it for us with all of the questions and answers regarding anything related to food and beverage with the Celebrity cruise ships. If you have other questions, which I'm sure there will be, comments, anything that you would like to share with us, please do so. Comment below. And as you know, we always respond to every single solitary comment. We will be back on the Equinox on September
10th, I believe.
10th to the 17th.
I think so.
We will be back on the Celebrity Equinox on September 10th. Today is September 1st, so 9 days. And if you get your question into us prior to that, we promise to have an answer for you during that cruise. And now we're going to move on to some other questions that we have that were not pertaining to the food and beverage department.
The next question was, do they have single verandas without the extra charges?
And the answer is yes. On the Celebrity Edge class series, we went to Future Cruise and we had a conversation with the Future Cruise manager, and he said yes, it is possible to book a balcony cabin for a single person without the additional supplement, only on the Edge class ships. And our wonderful friends at JJ Cruise, Jordan and Jared, they also responded to the live video. They watched it and they made a comment and said they book those all the time and that they book up fast. It's on the Edge class ships, which include the Edge, the Apex, the Beyond, and the soon-to-be Ascent. You can book a single passenger cabin without the additional supplement with a infinite veranda. Occasionally you can get something on sale where the second passenger, let me give you an example. If you wanted to book something on the Equinox and you're a single passenger and you don't want to pay the double occupancy rate, sometimes there's a sale where you pay full price for the first person and the second person is 75% off. In that case, you would get a deeply discounted price for the second person, which is the single person supplement. So the answer is yes, you can book a balcony for a single person without the supplement, and it's only on the E-Class or the Edge Class ships.
The next question was, how can a ship be overbooked?
This question came primarily because friends of ours were on a cruise ship recently in Alaska, and Nancy, one of our friends, was on that, and she said that it was very oversold. And we asked, how can that be? And the answer was, it was a system glitch. Celebrity can only sell as many cabins as there are available. They cannot sell a cabin that is already occupied by somebody. And when they make a booking, there has to be a cabin number associated with it, unless it's a guarantee. And there are only a certain number of guarantees. So the system, ideally, would not let you book more people than there are cabins. In this case, he said it's happened twice that he knows of in his career with celebrity, which I don't know how long that is, but it's very rare, and it was a system glitch. It's not something that happens on a routine basis by any means. And I asked him, how do you handle that situation? Who gets asked to not come on the cruise? And he said it's the last passengers that were booked, which makes sense. So if the cruise was oversold by 10 people, it would be the last 10 people that booked. And because celebrity made the mistake, or whoever it is that's making the mistake, whether it's celebrity or another cruise line, they will offer something to try and make it up to them. They'll give them, 100% refund, and then maybe, a discount or future cruise credit or something along those lines. So it's the last booked would be the first ones canceled. And I think that does it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of questions. During our live, we had a total of 158 comments or questions. And John and I spent a long time going through reading them and making sure that we wrote down everything. So we hope that we did not miss any questions. If you asked us something and we didn't address it in this video, please comment below and we will find out for you on our next cruise, which begins September 10th. And additionally, if you have any follow-up questions to anything, please ask those or share your comments with us. We love to hear from you. And I think that does it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support. We hope that this has been helpful for you and informative. We love providing information and helping you. Thanks so much for all your support. We really appreciate it. And as always, we hope you have a wonderful day.